living it and using it. Many years ago, I had a condition called endometriosis, which is a female condition of the ovaries and fallopian tubes. A very, very painful condition. And I had 7 operations for this condition. Every year I was in the hospital having surgery. And finally, the disease got a little carried away, so the doctor thought, and he didn't want to do the surgery. He wanted to send me out of New York to have the surgery done. At the time, my marriage wasn't doing well, so I had other problems going on as well, and I was very frightened. I had a son, and there was a lot of emotions taking place. I knew that I wanted to go to a particular physician in Baltimore, Maryland, but I had no idea how I was going to find him or how I was going to get his name. I just heard of him, and that's all I had. I started to pray, and I received in the mail a conference, and it had his name on it. So that began. My physician said he didn't know him, so he didn't want me to use him, although he trusted my instinct. So he insisted I use somebody else in a town called Georgia. I really didn't know which way to go at this point, and I was very, very frightened because traveling, being as sick as I was very difficult. I wanted to take a few of my family members with me for security. Financially, I would have to afford the travel expenses for everybody that I wanted to bring with me. So that night, I prayed to Jesus, and I asked him for guidance. And in my dream, he appears to me. I was in a very, very, a village with cardboard all around, and it was very dingy and dirty. But there he stood. And I turned and I looked at him, and I thought, wow, it's meant for me to go through these trials. There's a reason I'm going through these trials. But we sat together, and he talked to me, and I didn't remember anything when I woke up, but I remembered that I sat with him and we spoke. So I went up to my dad and I said, I dreamt of Jesus last night. Yeah, really? And then I went back to sleep. When I went back to sleep that morning, I remembered that what he told me was 3 numbers, 777, highly spiritual. I thought to myself, I wonder what this means. Just when that happened, the phone rang and my girlfriend called, whose father recently passed away, and she started to tell me how she found money of her father's in something in his trunk. And it was really ironic, she said, we needed this money because both my husband, my mother, and myself each only had $7 on us. And I said, what'd you say? I woke up. I was like, what? 777. So I went and I played the number. I figured, what else could it possibly mean? And it's a very hard number to get in for you gamblers who know that, right? 3 times that day I played it, and I won $1,500. And I thought, $1,500, what is he saying? I don't know, so I figured it meant somehow this money was going to enable me to go to the doctor, bring my family, and do what I had to do. I go back to sleep, and he appears to me again. This time I'm kneeling before him like a child. He drops a tear onto my hand, which turns to a heart. I ask him, why do you close your eyes to me? Instead, he smiles. Next to me, I look, and it's my ex-sister-in-law who lives in Maryland. So I knew this was confirmation. Go to Maryland is what he was telling me, okay? I did wind up in Maryland. That was my 7th operation and my last. So that's why dreams are so important. The messages you can receive can create miracles in your life. You just have to use these tools and techniques and allow yourself to profit from what God has already given you. Okay, so these are the steps. Recognize your feelings, write down your dreams, talk about it, walk through it, live it, use it, study it, and pray for it. You can pray for things. You can pray for answers. What to expect? Not every dream will be recalled. You're not going to always dream. I don't always dream. That's okay. Some dreams will be fragmented. Some of them, it's about worrying. Something maybe, I saw Richard Gere the other night. You know what my dream was about, but that's not reality. Okay? Sometimes we will work out our problems in our dreams. We may have a job decision we want to make. And we can go, you ever hear the saying, let me sleep on it? Well, that's a true statement. Let me sleep on it. Ask, can I please have help in my dream tonight with this career decision? If you do this a few nights, don't expect it, immediately the next day. Journal it every day, and I promise you, if you're doing this and you're dreaming, you will receive an answer. Guidance and soul growth. And this, I believe, has to do with a lot with forgiveness, or if you're working out relationship issues. You'll go into the dream, and you may have a dream about someone you have anger with, and within that dream, you have forgiveness. And so when you wake up in the morning, you know that you have to get that forgiveness in your heart so that you can heal, so you could feel whole, so you can release the negative energy, and that's when your soul can grow. And believe me, it's not always necessary that you rekindle a relationship. Some relationships cannot happen, but it's important that you're not harboring the negativity and the anger and distress in your physical body. Your own symbols. You will develop your own symbols. Some, I believe, are universal, but as you journal your dreams, you will develop your own symbols. For me, I dream of a parakeet and someone who's going to die or be sick. Sparrows are spiritual and wonderful visions for me, and it was only through the course of years that I realized this. I had a dream of a friend. She took me on a road. The road was very rocky. She brings me into a room, and every single thing in this room was pink. The floors, the ceilings, the pillows, her shoes, everything. Her mother was in the dream, and her mother was sitting off in the corner of the room, and next to her mother was a parakeet in a cage. And when I woke up, I knew the feeling. I had a very unsettled feeling. I also knew that she was pregnant and going to have a girl. She calls me up. I said, "Congratulations." She says, "What do you know?" I said, "You're pregnant and you're having a girl." "How do you know that?" she says to me. But she knows. So I told her the good part of the dream. But then I felt I needed to share the other part of the dream, because we are messengers here, and there's reasons we receive this information. I said to her, Gina was her name, I said, there was a part of the dream that really bothered me, and I don't understand it, but I'm going to share it with you. And she knew about my parakeet symbols. For somebody else, you may start doing this, and parakeets are celebration. I told her about the vision and the dream experience. A few months down the line, when she went for her sonogram, in fact, she found out that she was pregnant with a girl. Her mother was diagnosed with lung cancer. Her mother recently deceased this year. But because the bird wasn't that sick, I knew she had time. And Gina needed to know and accept this. And I think what's also encouraging, even though this is sad, if we look at it, I was given that dream. So what does that tell you? That woman, her karma was going to be that she was going to leave this earth young. And it helped her daughter accept the mother's death, because although her mother is her mother and she loves her, she is, like all of us, a separate entity here, walking a path and learning lessons. So it helped her understand that there is a higher existence and a higher purpose, and as much as she misses her mother because she was only in her 50s, this is what gives her strength. So dreams can be encouraging, they can give you strength, they can give you hope, they can give you guidance. Why anyone wouldn't want to do this, wouldn't want to have this experience, is something that I don't understand, because it's been so fulfilling for me. What is for one is different for another, and that's what I was just talking about. Parakeet is one thing for me, it could be something different for you. Dogs, I don't know, usually it's a man in my dream. People love that. Except my girlfriend called the other day, and she dreamt of a horse. I said, well, you have bigger ideas, I guess, because... And sure enough, it was to do with the man. So like we had this joke, I'll stick with the dog, you can have the horses. It's okay. The other thing about dreams of encouragement, and this is a very